New York is about to have its first Muslim Marxist communist mayor. This is not something unprecedented, or it's not something that we can't foresee what's going to happen. It has already happened in London. Remember this guy, Sadiq Khan? Clean shaven, suit and tie wearing, clean cut, secular looking Muslim. So much so that even I thought that he was a secular Muslim. Even for a moment, if you think that he is a secular Muslim, that's not the point I'm trying to make. This is the secular, harmless face of Islam that they are showing to the vastly ignorant white population of Western countries. They think that, oh, they're just like us. Just like we have secular, non-religious people in the white community or in the Christian community, Muslims have the same. But every time we look into these secular Muslims, for some reason, their allegiances always lie with Islam. Now, I don't know much about this Zohran Mamdani guy. I'm sure he is a secular liberal Muslim, given that his father was a Muslim and his mother is a Hindu. That's the liberal face that they show you. And white liberals, let me show you this. Look at all these people. They're all New York and white liberals celebrating Zohran's victory. Oh, he's going to be eventually the mayor of New York. Their descendants, in less than 20 or 30 years max, are going to be cursing this moment. Because what happens afterwards? You elect a suit-wearing, seemingly normal liberal Muslim. That paves the way for the next generation of Muslim politicians. This is exactly what happened in England. Now, England has something like 7 or 8 Muslim mayors. Only the first one, Mayor of London, the biggest of all, Sadiq Khan, he looks like a secular liberal Muslim. What he's done to London besides that? Forget about that. White British people are now a minority in London. Okay, I'm still not making a racist argument. This is not about the color of your skin. It's about the culture that people are promoting. I used to think that maybe this was a conspiracy, and I would still try to be as objectively neutral as possible. Maybe the Muslim Brotherhood, or maybe Muslims did not plan this conspiracy to put Muslims in strong political circles in Western countries. Maybe that wasn't the initial intention. But once they saw its efficacy, they could not help but notice that, maybe we could do something about it. Maybe this is the best way to infiltrate high political circles. Let me play you this video by Arif Alvi, Pakistan's former president. Look what he's saying. Just pay attention to what he's saying. This guy. He is the former president of Pakistan, Arif Alvi. Pakistani should take part in American politics and should unite, because without unity, it won't work. In American politics, because we live here, if we create our own clout, it will have a strong effect on Pakistan's politics. There will be no interference. It will be a positive thing. And you are the ambassador of a good country. So I wish you to get involved here in the local politics and create an intellectual relationship with Pakistan. You make donations, it's a good charity, but an intellectual transfer of knowledge is what will change Pakistan. So I'm demanding this from you. This is not a request. This is a demand from Pakistan. This is a demand from your country. Pakistan Zindabad, long live Pakistan. So what about American interests? Which country are these people going to pick when it comes between protecting American interests and Pakistani interests? Now, Arif Alvi holds the view that there's too much American interference in Pakistani politics. So he's saying that you should get involved in American politics so they can't interfere in Pakistani politics. And maybe, you can promote Pakistan's interests. This is something that I've said time and time again, that Islam does not mix with Western values. Western values and Islamic values are two opposite things. It's not about the race. There are some white Muslims as well. I would put them in the same category as a brown Muslim. Islam means submission. That's one of the first demands of Islam, that you have to be loyal to Islam and the Muslim community. Everything else comes second. Even your own country comes second. Not the fact that it's an infidel country like Britain or America, but even Pakistan. If you are a Pakistani Muslim, then your first and foremost priority is Islam and the Muslim Ummah, and then Pakistan.
Muslims are being put in situations where they're asked, are you a Muslim first or are you a British first?
Yeah, but these are easy questions to answer. I'm a Muslim first. Like, what's the issue?
That's the reason why most of these Muslim countries cannot implement secular, liberal, non-Islamic laws. And now Western idiotic liberals, or the wokes, or however you want to address them, they are putting those people who hold that view, in power. Now, again, as I said, this Zohran guy, he may be secular, liberal, Marxist, Muslim, who doesn't care about Islam per se. He's actually a Shia, by the way. So the vast majority of Sunni Muslims are just going to use him as a stepping stone. But this lays a pathway for future Muslim politicians to come in and get elected and hold positions of power. What happens to these secular lipstick Muslims? They become irrelevant. You think Bushra Sheikh, who is a non-hijab wearing, she actually used to wear hijab and then she ditched the hijab. You think she's going to stand up to radical Muslims? When people like Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa, well, they're too dumb. They probably won't because they've exposed themselves. But the next generation of those kind of Muslims, when they hold positions of power, do you think Bushra Sheikh is going to stand up to them? Do you think the secular liberal Muslims are going to stand up to them? No, they won't. You know why they won't? Because they will have their own social problems. They will have pressure from their extended family to stand by your Muslim brother. And also, it's always easier to join the winning side. So if those radical Muslims are winning positions of power, then it's easier to join them rather than to oppose them. All of that is happening at your cost. Your culture is the one that is constantly giving way to foreign cultures like Islam. Islam is the most hostile one. I would say that you should protect your Western culture from every other culture, even Hindu or Buddhist cultures. But those cultures are not as aggressive as Islam. So Zohran may be a secular Marxist. As I said, time will tell. I'm not holding my breath because I think it's going to become quite evident very quickly where his allegiances lie. And it's not going to be the West. It's not going to be America. It's a lose-lose situation. A, he's a Muslim, and B, he's a Marxist. You're not going to get a better New York. If you're thinking that New York is going to be as clean as it was in the 80s or the 90s, forget it. It's going to get worse. New York subways are going to be worse than what they are today. I say this because I come from a third world country. I have seen firsthand what happens when uncultured people rule the streets. Suddenly you start seeing plastic bags flying around. Suddenly you start seeing people dumping their rubbish on the side of the street. All of a sudden, our rich councils, they used to be so rich. You used to see clean roads and manicured parks and lawns. All of a sudden, they start resembling the third world. What happened to our rich councils? What happened to our taxes? I saw that firsthand happen in English neighborhoods. I am now starting to see that in Melbourne, one of the most livable cities in the world ever. Now it's starting to get dirtier and dirtier every year. And I've heard similar stories about Toronto, New York, and all these lefty cities. This poison is spreading ever so slightly, all being facilitated by far left woke white idiots. So let me play you a message from a British woman.
The mayor of London is Muslim. The mayor of Birmingham is a Muslim. The mayor of Leeds is Muslim. The mayor of Blackburn is Muslim. The mayor of Sheffield is Muslim. The mayor of Oxford is a Muslim. The mayor of Luton is a Muslim. The mayor of Oldham is a Muslim. The mayor of Rochdale is a Muslim. All of this was achieved by only 4 million Muslims out of the 66 million people in England. Today in England, there are over 3,000 mosques. There are over 130 Sharia courts.
A lot of lefties might be looking at it and saying, so what's wrong with that? You idiot lefties. All your hard work, all the freedoms that you fought for in the last 100 years or so, women's rights, anti-abortion rights, LGBTQ rights, all of them. Islam is antithetical to all of those values, all of them. Sharia is antithetical to all of them. That many Sharia courts, that's going to happen in America as well. That many mosques, you think that a mosque is just a cool place where Muslims hang out like churches used to be. You have no idea the amount of vitriol and hatred is taught against you infidels, against LGBTQ people, against you fornicators. All of that is taught in those mosques. I've said it before, the only good thing that's going to come out of this is the look on the faces of those far left wokies when Muslims come to power, because you are the first ones they're going to target. Because Islam has given second-class status to Jews and Christians. But not to you atheists, you fornicators, you degenerates, you LGBTQ people, off the roof. You are going to be the first idiots. And right now, they're just using you as pawns. And you are so willing to be used by them.
In England, and there are more than 50 Sharia councils. 78% of Muslim women do not work and receive state support and free accommodation. 63% of Muslims do not work and receive state support and free housing.
Leeches.
State-supported Muslim families have an average of 6 to 8 children who all receive free accommodation. Every school in the UK is required to teach about Islam. The number one most common baby name in England is Muhammad. This is not immigration. This is invasion.
This is invasion. This is an erosion of Western culture, of Western values. Why am I always harping on about preserving Western culture, Western values? Western values have enabled people like me to thrive the way we could not thrive in an Islamic society. That's why I understand the value of Western culture. Western values enable that. Now, that culture is slowly being eroded. It's making way for an aggressive, hostile culture that is Islam. It breaks my heart. It truly breaks my heart. Now, I'll just quickly go back to this guy, Zohran. He's a typical lefty/Muslim. He's an open anti-Semite. Yes, I know they say that all criticism of Zionism is not the criticism of Jews. It's BS. It's BS. Absolute BS. Zionism only means that Jewish people deserve a homeland. That's it. But they can't stand that. Why? Because they're ruled over Jews for over 1,000 years. They're not used to sharing power. They're not used to relinquishing power. That's why they hate Israel. Because in Israel, Jewish people do not live beneath the heel of Islamists or Muslims. He said that he would arrest Netanyahu as soon as he lands in New York. And like a typical Muslim, even as a secular Muslim, that says a lot about secular Muslims, by the way, he hates Hindus as well. Let me play you a clip from 2020. This is him.
मैं अंग्रेजी में दे सकता हूँ?
So these people in the background are saying, who are Hindus? They are bastards. That's the kind of people he's hanging out with. Of course, he doesn't say that, but of course he agrees with that. When you join an anti-Israel rally and those people chant against Jewish people, and you're not alarmed by that, you don't condemn that, you don't say, hey, don't say that, then it means you agree with that. He agrees with this.
My name is Zohran Mamdani. I am a candidate for New York State Assembly District 36, Astoria, Dipmar Steinway, Astoria Heights. I'm here today to protest against the BJP government in India and the demolition of the Babri Masjid and the attempt to build a mandir on top of the ruins of it.
I have a feeling we're going to find out soon enough that he doesn't hold a soft spot for LGBTQ people as well. And I would love that. This is exactly what happened in Hamtramck, Michigan. So the LGBTQ community and the liberals of Michigan, they supported a Muslim mayor candidate. And guess what happened? A sense of betrayal, liberal dismay as Muslim-led US city bans pride flags. Many liberals celebrated when Hamtramck, Michigan elected a Muslim-majority council in 2015, but a vote to exclude LGBTQ plus flags from city property has soured relations. I am waiting for that moment. That's going to happen. And you know what the funny thing is? Well, you don't have many conservative Christians in New York, but whatever's left of them, they will support the Muslim mayor's decision to ban pride flags. It's not going to happen instantly, but it is going to happen. You are going to see the signs of it within his term. That's going to happen. Take a clip out of that and play it when it happens. So, as I said, it's not about Zohran or Sadiq Khan. It's a clash of cultures because societies are not run by individuals. Societies are run by ideas that are held collectively by groups of people. That's why in a democratic society, when 90 or 95% of the society believes in democratic values and principles, then 5% of communists can be tolerated. They're not going to overthrow the system. But when your very values are challenged and the challenger starts becoming more and more popular, then the primary culture comes under direct threat. And that is exactly what's happening in blue states in America. These white liberals are digging their own graves. They have no idea. They are the worst kind of useful idiots. And it just breaks my heart.